Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life TV. We are here for our next Road to 5K video. We are talking about Lovecraft Country Season 1 because that's all there was that one season. I'm not sure who it was that asked me to watch this. I believe it was Justin Hamilton. And then probably years later, somebody, when we were on the Discord channel, said it again. And I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and throw that in there for Halloween. So that's how we came to Lovecraft Country for Halloween. Yo, if you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. If you like the video, go ahead and hit like so that way the YouTube algorithm can know that you were here and that you appreciated the content. So this may have some spoilers in it, but I'm just going to try to jump right on into it. It may not be a full breakdown because I watched the whole season. I took the last 2 weeks of October and added it to spooky season. So while I was watching The Purge, I was also watching Lovecraft Country. And I'm here to tell you, it has some jump scares in it, child. So if you're one of them people that don't like jump scares, this may not be for you, but it got some jump scares in it. I was having bad dreams while I was watching this. Between this show and The Purge, I was having bad dreams. And my bad dreams was related to either this show or The Purge at the same time I was watching it. I had to like watch something happy, and the happy didn't always work with this one. Now, as I stated before, Lovecraft Country only lasted one season. It came out in 2020, not 22. It came out in 2020. It was written and produced, I believe, by Misha Green. Now, I love me. I can't say I love me some Misha Green. I was going to say I love me some Misha Green, but Misha Green has not had many projects. My favorite show by Misha Green was Underground. You guys know how I loved me some Underground, and then that show was canceled. I don't know what it is about Misha Green. Either somebody don't like her, that she can't get her foot off the ground, or she don't know how to handle business. Because when USA went off the air, I don't know why Misha and company waited to the last fucking minute to decide, oh, we're going to try to fight to find somebody else to pick this show up. They thought they was going to get Oprah. I don't know why, because Oprah don't never produce anybody's shows but her own for the most part. But yeah, John Legend went on a whole little thing like, hey, here's a petition, keep Underground on the air. But Misha wasn't doing what she needed to do. So I'm starting to think maybe she has a bad business sense. She's a great writer, but she has a bad business sense because Misha also was involved in Tomb Raider 2. Okay. Tomb Raider 2 never came out, or it was canceled, the version that she had, because she took too long to put it together and they never could come up with the money to get it done. Okay. So Underground got canceled. Tomb Raider 2, the one that she was supposed to be doing, never came out. Lovecraft Country, canceled. And they were some fucking good shows, okay? She also did the movie The Mother, which I thought was weirdly good. I thought it was so good it was bad, or so bad it was good. It wasn't a good movie, but it was still good. It was, Jennifer Lopez. She came out, she was supposedly an assassin who had abandoned her fucking daughter. And for some reason, they were after her daughter. So she had to come out the woodworks to try to make sure she kept her daughter alive. That type of situation. So it had an interesting storyline, but it fell off at a lot of points. Now, what Misha Green is good at is period pieces. Okay. Which is what made Lovecraft Country one of the good ones, and Underground a good one. She really dives into historical Black facts and she implements them into her shows. I love that about her. Lovecraft Country, I thought was, it was good. It was creepy. I'm gonna say it was creepy more than scary, but it was still a lot. Okay, she had a supernatural element. She had a fantasy element. She had supernatural. She had aliens. She had vampires. She had magic, demons, monsters, and racism, all tied into a period piece. all in this one freaking movie. There was daddy issues left and right. Everybody had parent issues. Tick, Atticus, he had parent issues. His girl had mama issues. His daddy had daddy issues. It was just like when I see shows like this, it really is disappointing for me to see that there's no real sound structure. Even when it came to why I don't know these characters' names no more. Oh my god, I just watched this a few weeks ago. Let me pull this up so I won't get it wrong. Lovecraft Country. Lovecraft Country. Cast. Who was they playing? So Journey Smollett, she played Letitia. They call her Letty. Jonathan Majors played Atticus. They called him Tick. Anjanae Ellis, I love her as a freaking actress. She played Hippolyta, which was Atticus' aunt. Courtney B. Vance played George Freeman, which was Atticus' uncle. Um, oh, sorry. Wumi Wunmi Mosaku. She's the one who played Annie in Sinners. She played Ruby, who is Letty's sister. Abby Lee played the vampire Christina Braithwaite. Jamie Chung, she was some kind of fucking demon spawn. She was Gia. Jada Harris was the little girl who played Diana Freeman, and Michael K. Williams played Jonathan Major's daddy, which I didn't get because Michael K. Williams didn't look like he could be anybody fucking daddy. But he played his daddy, Montrose Freeman, which was also George's brother. Okay. And then we had Jordan Patrick Smith, who played William, who was actually Christina in male form. Weird. So yeah, it was a whole lot of shit going on. It was body doubling. Cloning going on. It was a lot going on in this particular series. Now, this was based on a book called Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. The book was actually incorporated into the film, but it was said to be written by George Freeman. It was said to be written by Atticus' son. So we had, what else is that? I'm gonna say Back to the Future type shit. They was going to the future, they was coming back, they was seeing themselves, they was going back to the past and, interacting with themselves and it was a lot going on. But it kept you engaged. I will say that. So it's set back in 1950s Jim Crow. I just got the fucking hiccups. Hold on. Holding your breath for 10 seconds is supposed to help you. So anyway, 1950s Jim Crow is when it was set back in. Let's see, what else we got going on here? It had a fantastic musical soundtrack. Raphael Sadiq was pretty much the score master on this show as far as getting all the tracks and everything. In the movie Sinners, he actually wrote one of our favorite songs, the song I Lied to You, that Miles Canton sung as Preacher Boy Sammy. He wrote that song. Outside of his own music, he was with Tony. He was, what's the other group he was with Dawn? I can't think of it right now. Y'all let me know down in the comment section because I know y'all know. Outside of his own personal work, my next favorite body of work that he did would be Solange's album, A Seat at the Table, and then going back to D'Angelo's album. Those were some beautiful body of works by Raphael Sadiq. Now, he did do at least 5 songs on Cowboy Carter. I hate that album. I told y'all this before. There's about 2 songs that I like on it. Matter of fact, let me look up the tracks. He did 5 songs. He did 5 songs on it. And what songs did Raphael Sadiq do? Why does it give me Sinners again? I already know what he did on Sinners. Oh, the 2 songs that I like. 16 Carriages and then I was able to tolerate that song, Texas Hold'em. Raphael Sadiq did both of those. That's probably and the other three though. Not so much. Not so much. So yeah, let's go ahead and go back to Lovecraft Country. So the story opens up. Tick is coming home from the Korean War. Is it the Korean War in 1950? What war is that? Hold on, let's see. What war was in 1950? Korean War. Yeah, he was coming home from the Korean War. He had did some heinous shit while he was there. Killing people because by taking orders. You know how most of the military do. And nowadays, if they do that shit, they can come back and they can get court-martialed for it. Just killing folks just to be killing them, and that's pretty much what he was doing back there. So he's already dealing with PTSD and a whole lot of issues like that, especially with black soldiers going and fighting in wars that they had nothing to fuck to do with them, and then coming back to America and still being treated like shit. So, but while he was there, he had met this woman that he absolutely fell in love with. Her name was Gia. Well, in this particular time, Gia he's calling Gia, but he can't speak to her for some reason. He just can't. So something happened between them that he had called her a voice and then he'd freeze. Okay, so he is going back to his hometown, which I believe was Chicago. I believe it was Chicago. Let's see. Where was it set at, y'all? HBO canceled the series. Okay. I'm looking at it right now. I just realized that this was supposed to be a collection fictional stories. Each episode was its own separate story, and I was finna make a point to bring that up. That one of the things I didn't like about it is at times it seemed like a lot of the episodes were standalone stories, and now that I'm reading this, that's what this was supposed to be. The whole book was supposed to go together. Each story was supposed to bounce off each other, and I always call it a crash moment, but they were meant to be separate stories. Okay, so that makes more sense. Okay. So basically, his daddy came up missing, and so he's going back home. I believe it was Chicago. I can't find it. Yeah, Chicago. There we go. It was Chicago. That he's going back to Chicago. He stayed down in Tallahassee's. Motherfucker, it's a gnat. I keep killing one gnat a fucking day. I think it's when I let my dog out and shit, because that motherfucker let me had the door open too long. He got to go. They keep dad biting by my mouth and shit. My breath funky now. My breath smell good. That's probably why they're trying to get into my mouth. So he was going back to Chicago. His daddy was missing. His daddy was a fucking alcoholic. So first he didn't think too much about it, but then his brother George was like, hey, something is wrong. Okay. He ain't never gone this doggone long. So the whole point is for them to go out on the road to figure out where the hell daddy had went to. Again, his dad was played by Michael K. Williams. Montrose. One of the other things that I wanted to bring up in here is the storyline or the love interest that was developed and built between Letty and Atticus. I did like that development. They made it slow. It didn't seem forced. The love interest between Ruby and William, I just thought that was just a bit far-fetched, because then it turned into a love for Ruby and Christina, because again, Christina was actually William. That was really William when she decided to transform herself, because she was a vampire, but she could shapeshift and change herself into another human, whatever human she wanted to be. She decided to pick William, who I thought was her fucking bodyguard this whole time, because a lot of times, a lot of scenes, they kept showing her and William in the same scenes, and like she would walk into the house and then out come William. Like the way that they showed the transformation, how she went from the woman to the male, wasn't that quick, but they made it quick for her in the movie. I feel like, what the hell? Oh, it was wires just run up against my arm and shit. So I didn't like the that transition between Like say I didn't get her love for William in the first place. William picked her up. I guess he showed her the world. Ruby had a color complex. She wanted to be white. Why do I feel like something is coming my arm? Hope I ain't getting no damn shingles or no shit like that. Because it always feel like something traveling up your arms. Ruby wanted to be white. And it's not this, I don't think she necessarily wanted to be white, but she wanted to have all the things that white women had. You know, she'd been applying for a job over and over again at Marshall's, I believe it was, and she couldn't get hired. And then a black woman actually did get hired, and I don't know why she felt some kind of way towards that woman who hadn't been applying. Maybe I can't say it was because she was darker, because they both was brown skinned, dark skinned women. So I don't know what it was that they gave the one that was unqualified to do the job at all, why they gave the job to her and not to Ruby, who had been applying over and over again for years. It's like they probably threw her application away as soon as they saw her name come across. Let's see. So, Letty was a wanderer. You know, she was out running these streets, baby. She was for the streets. Okay, for real. So we thought. She was always out in the streets. She was a fighter. She was this and third. But we couldn't find out later on that she was a virgin, so she wasn't sexually out in the streets. But she was a wanderer, right? So somehow she ended up on this trip with Atticus to go find his daddy, because she was going to go stay with her brother, because her and her sister Ruby really wasn't getting along. And it was mainly because Ruby saw that Letty was being treated, you know, like she was the most loved one in the family, because she, of course, was half white. So her and Letty had a lot of contention, and it seemed like Letty was like using her sister, using her for a place to stay, using her for food, using her for money. Anytime she wanted something, she used it. But she couldn't even show up for her mama's funeral. Well, apparently the mama wasn't shit. Okay, but it all sums up to the mama wasn't shit. So they had a brother that she was gonna go stay with. So she decided to go on this road trip with Atticus. He going to look for his daddy, and she gonna go stay with her brother. Well, Atticus' Uncle George, Montrose's brother, he was already finna make the trip out east anyhow, because he did like road maps. He drew maps, which I didn't even know this type of thing existed, if it's even for real. So they would drive across the country and they would document places that were safe for black folks to go to. And they called it the Atlas or what have you. So that was what he was doing. He would go out, and sometimes it'd be a bit dangerous when they venture out and do these type of things. And so that was their journey. So since that was his brother, he was going to go help Atticus find his brother, while at the same time documenting along the way where it was safe for black folks to go to. So that's pretty much where the story is taken off from. And they on this road, and they get out there and they encounter some weird shit. Okay. Apparently the police in Chicago, they demons. And then every fucking police that they met along the way was demons. So not only are they being chased by fucking demons, they're getting chased by racist white folks too. And sometimes the racist white folks happen to be the demons as well. So they had a lot of this going on. And they get there and they learn that the reason why Montrose ain't came home, because he's been kidnapped. He's been kidnapped by these vampires. And apparently they did this kidnapping because they knew Atticus was going to look for him. They needed Atticus. Atticus had the same bloodline as the vampires. And they needed to complete this ritual. With his blood, they were able to take over magic. Like I said, there's so much going on. Vampires, magic, demons and stuff. They was going to be able to take over magic and run magic the way in which they wanted to do. Kind of like in Charmed, how Cole wanted to rule the underworld and everything. And he needed the 3 Charm sisters in order to do it and things like that. It's kind of how this was working too. They needed Atticus's blood. So by getting Montrose there, it was kind of like a trap. Now, George, his wife, Hypolita, her name, they said why her name was her name, which I fucking hated it. It's a guy, I don't know who has that same, but he has it as a last name, Hippolyta. I forgot what it meant, but they said about it in the movie what the Hippolyta meant. She was a writer, okay? and she was interested in space and astronomy and things like that. The daughter, she was cartoonist, so she would draw images and things like that was space related. It had her mama as the hero and all that. Well, apparently these cartoons were actually little bits and pieces and clues of the story to help Atticus understand where he came from as a person and his magical bloodline that he was trying to uncover. So the daughter, Christina, who actually played William, um, she wanted to take over the magical world from her daddy and have it to herself. She wanted to make herself immortal. So she needed Atticus for that. So, but while they out here trying to figure out what's going on with Montrose and how to get him back home, they got aliens jumping out of nowhere. Did y'all see Mickey 17, that movie? In Mickey 17, they had these big, like, earthworm type creatures, bugs, that was like on this one little doggone planet, what have you. Well, that's what they had as demons, super size, going after them. So they had to fight against these demons, and once they did all this fighting, they was captured. Letty got shot. Letty got revived like she was Jesus Christ, but George ended up getting killed while he was there too. So now they got to come back to Chicago and explain what the fuck happened to George. But they can't really explain it because nobody going to believe them about this doggone match. So now they keeping secrets too. And Hippolyta is still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with her husband and everything. So she wants to go out there and, do the doggone guide thing and figure out what happened to her husband because they weren't telling us something. Oh, child. It was so much going on. It was so much going on. Each episode, like I said, was a different storyline. Hippolyta, she go off on her little journey and she finds this big, what's the thing called? Planetarium type situation. Baby, that she done called on the goddamn aliens, and the aliens done came and got her and took her to the future, and she can become anybody that she want to be. She became what's the role that Viola Davis played? Woman King. She became the Woman King child. I think she played out that whole fucking movie. Did that movie come out after this? Because that basically was that whole fucking movie. Hippolyta's time there, learning how to train to be a warrior and learn how to fight and killing off the men. And when did that Woman King come out? Hold on, let me see. When did it come out? Woman King came out 2022. Child, if y'all watch Hippolyta's journey in Lovecraft Country, that was the Woman King. My brain was like, oh, she saw the Woman King and they spin off that. So the Woman King is based on a true story. So, like I said, Misha Green incorporates a lot of history into her TV shows. So I guess that's what. But baby, it was damn near the same story. I mean, how she got trained and how she became a warrior, and she left her kid behind, child. She left her kid behind. Now, while they back at the crib, Montrose, like I say, he's drinking and he's drinking hard. We've learned that his daddy used to beat the shit out of him. Okay. His daddy used to beat the shit out of him, and it was because he was gay. I don't know what it is. I had to ask question, was Michael K. Williams gay? There has not been a single role that he has played in that I've seen, other than in The Purge, that he wasn't a gay man. I was looking at the Reddit thread and people kept saying, oh, it's simply because he's that good of an actor that he was able to pull it off. No, man. I mean, I'm not shaming him for it, but ain't no way. This man be doing full on kissing, hugging, body rubbing, tugging. I mean, back shotting and everything in these roles he played. He be playing some serious roles. The one thing I love about the fact that he is playing this type of character is showing proof that all gay men aren't flamboyant. In The Wire, he was one of the baddest motherfuckers out there. The whole town was scared of Omar. And Omar was an out and proud gay man. Knocking them down, baby. You're knocking them down. And then, let me see. There was so many movies Michael K. Williams played in, and he was gay. So many shows, TV shows. So Lovecraft Country, as we see it now. I thought they said When They See Us, he was gay in there. Happy Leonard, he was gay in there. Was he gay in the sports before dying? He's been in a lot of shit, though. I mean, he's been in a lot of movies. Was he gay in Boardwalk Empire? Definitely in The Wire. It don't even matter, child. But he was struggling with his identity or his sexuality, or just accepting the fact that he was gay, and that was eating him away. And that's one of the reasons why he drank so much. Like I said, his daddy used to beat the shit out of him because he was gay. And then come to find out that Atticus wasn't even his damn son, child. He used to beat the hell out of Atticus. He beat Atticus so bad because he didn't want Atticus to be gay like him. But come to find out, he wasn't even Atticus' child. His mama kept appearing to him and Letty in a vision. And she holding this book of secrets that the vampires need in order to complete whatever circle of life that they trying to complete. And so his mama, back in the day, they died in the Tulsa massacre. Like I said, they brought in so many elements of Black history into this show that I loved. So they was part of the Tulsa massacre, and Michael K. Williams and he was Montrose, and his brother George all were having a relationship, a throuple, with Atticus' mama Hannah. They was all having a throuple. So nobody knew for sure whose child he was. Until the end, they really knew. They knew for real that he wasn't Michael's child. But in order to keep people believing that Michael Montrose, that he was straight, he had gave him Atticus, so to speak. They never said, that I recall, that George's wife knew that Atticus was her husband's child. I don't recall that. If they did, it's probably one of the episodes I fell asleep on. I fell asleep on the episode with the Korean girlfriend. They had a whole episode where they went over to Korea and they explained the demon that she was. She was a succubus. She would have sex with men and then suck their life out of them. And while she doing so, she could see all their bad history and their bad past, all the bad things they done. And she was targeting Atticus when he was there. Like I said, he fell in love with her because he was an injured soldier. And then they started to get to know each other. But her whole purpose was to get to know him so she can kill him. Because he, like I said, he was doing bad shit, taking orders and killing people that didn't need to be killed. He killed her best friend. But they end up falling in love, which is, end up falling in love. He didn't know that he was a target. He didn't know he was a target. He didn't even know what the fuck was happening to him when they started to get busy, which he was a virgin at this time. He got his virginity taken away from him by the succubus. But they did a whole entire episode just on her. Just like they did a whole entire episode on Hyperlighter going over to the future. She had been gone 200 fucking years, child. It was like a few weeks in our time, but she had been gone 200 goddamn years, living her best fucking life. Well, her daughter is back at the crib getting attacked by the police. Her daughter was the best friend of Emmett Till, child. Her daughter was the best friend of Emmett Till. So in the show, Emmett Till had got killed, and he got killed by the demon cops or some demon people, and they targeted her as a child, and they put some type of curse on her. He put spit on her forehead. I can't stand people spit, and she came half decrepit, like her whole what's the word when you die? Decomposed. Her whole left side of her body decomposed, and she was dying, and had the little creepy demon twins that was dead following her around and chasing her, and they was dancing. I've heard tell about this, okay, because I keep seeing people use the image of these Bopsy twins, is what they would like to call them. Bopsy and Topsy was their names. There was some actual creepy twins to call them Bopsy twins back in the day, but they was white. But Bopsy and Topsy, they was creepy little demon looking kids. I was gonna dress up as one on Halloween, but I didn't have the time to do it. But they danced. And if back when I first started really getting on the IG, I always see these videos of these two little girls. They had to be like 9 or 10. One was white, one was black. And they was with this dance crew. They was fucking good. They was really fucking good. I think they also ended up on one of them dance TV shows. The one that had Jennifer Lopez and Neo. The World of Dance. I think they ended up on that show. They were good dancers, but that's what their whole thing was. They was following around Diana, creepy and dead and shit, and you know, all that stuff, dancing. They danced every fucking where they went. um, so then it became a mission to save her life. So they had to go back out to where Montrose was kidnapped. They had to go back in time, child, to try to stop some shit from happening. They had to go find the book of secrets that the mama was carrying in the dream and was back in Tulsa. And that's when we found out about, how Montrose, they did a whole segment about Montrose and his gay lover who owned the bar. He was like a drag queen. They was trying to let us know the drag queens existed back in the 50s. Because of the whole drag world. Uh, and they always show him fucking. Every time they showed him as a gay man, they always showed him fucking. They always made sure they showed in a very intense scene of fucking the other man. Michael K. Williams is gay. He might have been bi, but you can't make me believe he wasn't. He was that good in that fucking role. And yes, like I said, people say he was just that good because he's a good actor. No. Sometimes you're just that good because that's something that you normally do. It did say he did. I think I did see an interview once upon a time that said it did make him more close and more understandable of the LGBTQ community. But essentially, he wasn't gay. I think he was. I think he was struggling with his sexuality the same way that he was struggling with his sexuality here on Lovecraft Country. In The Wire, he gave some fucks. He gave some fucks. Okay. So essentially, everybody had a piece of the pie. Like I say, when Ruby, Laddie's sister, ended up falling in love with Christina, is because Christina presented herself as William, who gave her the world, especially gave her the opportunity to be white. And that they picked the most decrepit looking white woman that they could have ever picked. There wasn't nothing sexy about her, but this is the image that she became. And then she became that image because Atticus and them had killed this woman, back on the farm when they was back there looking for Montrose. So she needed her body to be in the comatose state where Ruby could transform herself into that woman and live a life as a white woman. And so she fell in love with William doing that. And then at some point it became revealed that William and Christina was the same person. She struggled a little bit with the fact that Christina was a woman, but then you know what? Everything that Christina said, she said. Everything she felt, she felt. She was really in love with her, so they stayed together. But Christina was using her to try to get to Atticus, and apparently the baby that Letty was about to have, Letty ended up having sex with Atticus, and she got pregnant child. And the baby was the most important. They needed to keep that bloodline pure. This shit was crazy. It was crazy. Every episode, there was something just like there was good scenes, good fight scenes, good drama. They act their ass off. Matter of fact, when I watched Lovecraft Country, it was the reason why I wanted to see The Harder They Fall Again, by just how good Jonathan Majors was in this movie. Okay. I told you I seen Magazine Dreams. Hated the fucking movie. Jonathan Majors acted his ass off in that movie. He embodied every fucking emotion, every fucking trauma that you could possibly, that man had every trauma in the world. Every trauma in the world. He experienced every fucking thing in that one human. And Jonathan Majors so effectively played those roles. I just hated the storyline. That's what made me hate the movie. But if I just had to grade it just on the acting alone, it was phenomenal. But yeah, that made me realize again, like how good of an actor Jonathan Majors was. His whole scandal fucked with his goddamn career. So yeah. So the whole thing was like, say, it all came down to the boiling point of Christina wanted immortality. In order for her to get immortality, she had to kill Atticus because he was the other bloodline that was attached to her. And basically, he was her bloodline because, of course, the mama was a house slave or a servant in the house, and she was supposed to be a servant and was impregnated by one of the white families, and that's how the blood. I want to say it was generations and generations and generations. I don't know how many generations, because they act like it was his mama, and it wasn't his mama. His mama wasn't the mulatto. It was generations well down the path. They did say it was Hannah, didn't they? His mama. Let me go back here. I'm confused now. Was it Hannah? Oh, Tony Golden was with that. Letty's half brother. Forgot about him. Yeah. Daryl Stevens is Billie Holiday. Daryl Stevens was Billie Holiday? Shut your mouth. Wait a minute. That wasn't Billie Holiday. Where was Billie Holiday in this movie? Let me see. Oh, he's gorgeous. He played Billie Holiday? When did he play Billie Holiday? I remember one of the people that Hippolyta wanted to do was she wanted to dance with Josephine Baker. They don't even have on here who played Josephine Baker. Like, she was all over the place. But yeah, they had little Emmett Till was in the movie. Like, they called him Bobo the whole movie, and I didn't realize it was Emmett Till until later on. I was like, wait a minute, because that was his nickname. Who was the one who played? I can't find it. Guest starring Eustace Hunt, Marvin Baptiste, Tony Goldwyn. I don't know. I don't see it no more. Anyway, child, it's on HBO. You can see it through Prime. It was J.J. Abrams produced it. Jordan Peele helped produce it. Like I say, Misha Green was a producer. But it's something with each Misha Green projects that just don't go any fucking where. And they be they be creative as fuck. They be well casted as fuck. And they just don't go anywhere. Does it say why HBO canceled it? Well, a second season of Lovecraft Country was going to be Lovecraft Country Supremacy was in development. HBO canceled the series. Interesting. HBO canceled Lovecraft Country after one season. Does it say why? Hate these damn news articles that's behind a fucking paywall. Anyway, y'all, it's worth watching. I think, like I say, it's crazy as hell. Just be prepared to have everything hit you at once. Let me see if Misha Green had anything to do with Magazine Dreams, because that movie was full of stuff that it was just like, why is he going through everything? He was experiencing everything. Nah, it's not. Misha Green had nothing to do with that. But anyway, child, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Again, I'm on the road to 5,000. If you've watched to the end of this video, why you haven't subscribed? And if you have, thank you. See you in the next one. Peace.